In the heart of Cincinnati, where the Ohio River hummed a constant, melancholic tune against the skyline, Chiana walked a tightrope stretched taut between hope and despair. It was the mid-2020s, and the world had grown accustomed to a low thrum of anxiety, a feeling that pressed heavier on some than others. For Chiana, it was the gaping silence her father had left behind when he vanished in the eastern plains of Ukraine, declared missing in action. Every sunrise brought a fresh wave of questions, a desperate echo: if it's magic, then it can't be bad. If it's magic, I'll go asking for a miracle. She wished for a miracle not just to bring her father home, but to quiet the ache in her own lonely soul. She worked at a small bakery and over the Rhine, the scent of yeast and sugar a comforting, yet often overwhelming, blanket. Customers came and went, their lives seeming so perfectly contained, so free from the gnawing uncertainty that consumed her. Chiana often found herself staring out the window, past the bustling street, wondering about the reasons why her father, a man who loved nothing more than gardening in their small backyard, felt compelled to join the fight. The news cycles offered no solace, only a relentless tide of updates that never touched the specific, agonizing void in her own life. Sometimes, late at night, she'd stare at his old photograph, his smile crinkling the corners of his eyes, and whisper, "Tell me, what are the reasons, tell me why." A deeper longing stirred within her, a yearning for connection beyond her grief. Unbeknownst to Chiana, her quiet struggle had caught the attention of eyes far more discerning than those of her regular patrons. His name was Julius, a man whose tailored suits and unassuming demeanor belied a mind sharper than any surgical steel. He was a ghost in plain sight, an undercover agent who reported directly to the President of the United States. His current assignment placed him in Cincinnati, monitoring potential threats and tracking shadowy networks that extended from the front lines in Europe to the seemingly tranquil streets of American cities. Julius had a file on Chiana's father, a slim, unsettling dossier marked with classified annotations. He observed Chiana from a distance, recognizing the raw, beautiful strength in her eyes, a reflection of the global anxieties he was tasked with navigating. He wasn't allowed to get close, to offer comfort, but with each passing day, his professional resolve fractured. He felt a profound pull, a flicker of something deeply human that blossomed into an undeniable obsession. He was falling heads over heels in love with her, her silent courage weaving itself into the very fabric of his mission. Chiana, meanwhile, had exhausted every official channel. Her desperation had led her down paths less traveled, to hushed conversations in dimly lit community centers, to online forums filled with fellow sufferers. She found herself wrestling with an unspoken question, a yearning for something beyond human understanding. How to talk with God, and what do you say? She'd ponder, walking along the riverfront, watching the barges glide by like silent, indifferent sentinels. She wasn't overtly religious, but the sheer weight of her grief pressed her towards something transcendent, a hope for someone to truly see her. There were moments, fleeting and profound, when she felt a whisper of connection, a sense that somewhere, somehow, he saw my tears. Little did she know, he was already there, watching, feeling, loving her from the shadows. Julius, in his clandestine investigations, had identified a local figure, a man with too much money and too many connections, who seemed to thrive in the murky waters of international illicit trade. This individual, known only as the Bear, was an archetypal Mr. Big Stuff, who do you think you are? type, accustomed to getting his way through intimidation and influence. Julius suspected the Bear had ties to groups that might possess information, or even leverage, regarding missing persons in the conflict zone. His mission, initially focused on broader national security, now had a distinct, burning purpose: Chiana. Her quiet resilience had inadvertently become the singular catalyst for his actions. He needed to get her answers, not just for the president, but for his own heart, which now beat fiercely for hers. One rainy Tuesday, a stranger walked into Chiana's bakery, ordering a plain coffee and a croissant. When their eyes met, a spark ignited, a recognition that transcended words. He spoke with a quiet authority that Chiana found oddly comforting, despite his intense gaze. "Chiana," he began, his voice low, a warmth she hadn't heard in years, "my name is Julius. I believe I can help you find answers about your father." He spoke not of magic or miracles, but of facts, of investigations, of a hidden world where information was currency. He laid out a complex, dangerous path, but it was a path. For the first time in years, Chiana felt a surge of something other than grief, a potent mix of fear and exhilarating possibility, but overwhelmingly, a sense of safety she hadn't known she craved, offered by this enigmatic man. As Julius explained the intricate web of his work, the global stakes, and the personal risks, Chiana understood the true gravity of their situation. "We live in time," she thought, echoing a phrase she'd heard once, "these very specific, urgent moments." Yet, amidst the tension, a different kind of connection bloomed between them. His unwavering resolve, his quiet compassion, and the shared purpose of their dangerous quest forged an unbreakable bond. He saw her for who she truly was, and in his eyes, she found not just hope, but a burgeoning love that filled the void her father's absence had left. His mission to find her father became their mission, a dangerous dance where every shared glance, every whispered word, pulled them closer. The reasons were still complex, the Mr. Big stuff still loomed, but now, Chiana had an ally, a lover, and a genuine, albeit perilous,